I'm Jason Deere.
I'm Sammy G.
And we are Dice and Dragons. Please take a look at the video description below. There you will see our timestamps as well as some information as to what the video is about. So stay tuned, it's coming up. Enjoy the show. What up, gamers? So we're here today on Dice and Dragons, but as you might notice, we're missing a game. Usually I have an idea what's going on, but Sammy G has kept it a surprise today. He's picked the game, so Sammy G, what the heck are we reviewing today?
Well, are you guys ready for an epic quest?
I like epic quests. I mean, played lots of RPGs in my day.
Are you guys ready to go back and revisit a long trilogy, good as they may be?
Well, what trilogies? Lots of long trilogies.
Well, that's it, but this one takes place in Middle-earth.
Okay, so is it good? Tell me it's not the Hobbit trilogy.
Not the Hobbit trilogy, the other one, but that would probably take, if you watch them back-to-back, the extended, it'll take you the majority of the flight from New York to Tokyo, I'd say.
That's a long trilogy. Are we in for a long game?
It is this epic, wonderful adventure game.
Adventure? Having Gandalf? Wait, what?
Yes. This is a journey to Mordor, and it literally fits in the palm of your hand.
Okay, you do know War of the Ring is like this big a box, right? And it's an epic war game? I thought that's what we were doing today.
Doesn't look so epic, does it? This is kind of like Lord of the Rings meets Yahtzee.
Okay, so that can work.
Yes, it's a dice chucking adventure. You just keep going along. You get to be any one of the great heroes.
So it's a push your luck game then, a push your luck mechanic game. All right, I mean, that's what the Fellowship did the whole time. They pushed their luck. They killed orcs, they escaped the Balrog, and all sorts of other evildoers.
Yeah, but you have to play one of the hobbits.
Well, I guess Pippin and Merry were kind of cool. They got armor, and the girl kind of liked him, but Faramir is way dreamier than
Eowyn?
Yeah, but I mean, Eowyn went for Faramir. Can you blame her?
No, I guess not. But it is designed by Michael Rennick. It is by Fantasy Flight, so
we should get some good production values out of it then.
I think absolutely. So that being said, we're gonna take it to the table. We're gonna grab our drink. We're gonna grab our buddy. Let's go back to Middle-earth.
Let's go back to Middle-earth. Wait, we've never been to Middle-earth on the show yet.
Maybe I'll try to go to New Zealand and see what it's all about.
Okay. Just don't become a hobbit.
Fair enough. So let's take a look at Journey to Mordor, our epic quest in a tiny box. So once we go in, we have a nice simple rule book, more of a piece of paper. We have some beautiful dice, different colors, looks pretty cool. And of course our game board, which in this case is just a nice pad of paper and double-sided, so very good for the environment. You get a couple more playthroughs with it. Now, how do we actually play the game? What does all of this do? Well, you're going to essentially roll the dice. It's a press your luck type of game, so you're going to get 3 rolls in a turn. And the dice will show various symbols. So the Gandalf relates to the Nazgul track, which I'll explain after, but effectively, it takes longer for the Nazgul to kill you. The ring allows you to advance on the player track on top. So the objective is to get to Mordor as quick as you can. Every time you roll a ring, you get to move a space forward. That is unless you roll an orc, which will actually nullify all the rings that you have rolled in the turn. However, to nullify the orc, you have to roll a fellowship, which is this symbol here. So it's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors type thing where one thing beats the other things cancel out, and of course you don't know what you're going to roll on the next turn. The Nazgul, they have their own track here. So if you fill up the whole Nazgul track there, you die. The Nazgul win, you can't destroy the ring, they take it over, and they destroy all of Middle-earth. So we don't want that to happen, and that's where Gandalf comes into play, because by dividing the track into 2, it takes them longer to advance to the end of their track. The last thing is the white tree, and I'm going to explain this. It's a special symbol. It is only on the black die, and it essentially means it gives you the opportunity to stop all your rolls right then and there. And that could be beneficial and strategic if you get a good roll. So how does this all shake out? Let's find out right now. So the gameplay itself, as we said, it's a press your luck type of game, which means you're going to have multiple times to roll the dice here. So the first thing that the player would do is, depending on how many you are, everybody picks somebody in the fellowship. So let me be Frodo for this example. And what you would do is roll the dice. Now, Before I even explain how to resolve the dice, there are three main rules. The first rule is you must take at least one dice and set it aside before you move on to the next round. You cannot keep multiple images or multiple copies of the same image. So in this roll here, I actually have 4 orcs and a ring. So it means if for whatever reason I would want to keep an orc, I can only take one and not the other. This also means that if I had rolled 2 rings, I could only take one of the rings and not the other one. I would have to re-roll that. The third and final rule is if you were to roll a Nazgul, there it is. Let's say I rolled 2 Nazgul in this one. I need to take at least 1 Nazgul, which would in fact damage the character. Now, the different colored dice, as you can see here, relates to the different characters. So if I were to roll 2 Nazgul, the black being the active player, the green here being Pippin, I could actually say, you know what, I don't want to take the damage. I'm going to take a Nazgul because the rule forces me to take one, but Pippin is actually going to take the damage. Now this could be quite fun to kind of screw over your friends and family members that are playing, and to be able to, then roll the dice and try to get the rings to move forward to Mordor. But you have to, live with them or be friends with them still, so be careful. So that is effectively it. So if I were to take a roll, what I would do here is I need to keep one. So I would take one of these fellowship. I would roll again for the second time. This time I got a Nazgul, so I must take the Nazgul. I'm going to keep Gandalf, marking my Nazgul track to divide it in 2 and therefore giving me more health. And I have the option to actually stop here because I rolled the white tree. However, the third and final roll, I'm going to keep going. And what do I have here is another Gandalf and a ring. So to resolve this, we work as follows. The fellowship goes first. I have no orcs to cancel, so it doesn't really do anything. The Nazgul, Mary would take a damage. I'm playing Frodo, so it does not affect me. We would then go to Gandalf, and we would divide the first space as well as the second space in 2. And I would be able to move 1 because I rolled a ring, so I get to go to Rivendell. If you're playing then with the advanced rules, at the start of my turn, I would look at either the bonus or penalty that city gives me. The other thing that is important to show here is if you rolled multiple orcs, let's say you rolled multiple rings and you don't have a fellowship. Now let's just go like this. I rolled 3 rings, for example, a Gandalf and an orc. I unfortunately cannot cancel out this orc. So that does not allow me to move at all, even though I have multiple rings. So that's why we say it's a press your luck game, because sometimes you have 3 rings. It may be better just to stop there, even if you have to take some damage from the Nazgul. The other thing is, with the Nazgul, just to clarify, if you were to roll a Nazgul and a Gandalf and you have to take the damage, you would actually divide the space first because Gandalf goes before the Nazgul. That's how to play. It would then go to the next player on the left. The first one to reach Mordor wins. So I wanted to clarify just a couple of the rules to make sure that you find people understand fully how to play. So in this example, the first 2 turns I managed to set 2 rings aside. I rolled quite well. And then on the next turn, I rolled the white tree. So this is what I wanted to clarify with you guys. So with the white tree, I did mention that you can end the turn when you roll the white tree. So that is kind of true, but only if you set the die aside. And why does that matter? I'll explain that. So the 2 rings, even though I rolled an orc, which normally would nullify the rings, if I resolve the white tree first, I don't have to actually resolve the orc. So in that case, I still get to move ahead my 2 spaces by utilizing the white tree. However, as the rules state, every time you do roll a Nazgul, you must take the damage from the Nazgul. So even though I resolve the white tree, I still have to advance the Nazgul track. Now, the other thing we want to clarify was we said that you roll 3 times in a given turn. That's not exactly true. What we can do is you could roll up to actually 5 times because your turn only ends when you set every single die aside. So in this case, I'm going to set aside a Gandalf. I now rolled a ring. I have to take the Nazgul. And unfortunately, on the white tree, Even though I could end my turn right here, which is not bad, I would lose this ring because I unfortunately cannot set another ring aside because that would be setting 2 copies of the same image aside. So let's say I would end my turn here. I only rolled, I think, twice here. So I could end my turn just that. I don't have to take my 3rd roll or 4th or 5th because I have now resolved the white tree. I could end my turn there. So hope that clarifies for you guys. And now on to our review. So Mr. J, or should I say Mr. Frodo?
I did play Frodo, so
You did?
it's okay. It's okay.
And it's coming from your Samwise. What do you think of the game?
Sam, dear Sam, it is a game that accomplishes exactly what it sets out to do.
Yep.
But if we look at the game overall, I can't say that it's a great game. It makes very good use of the Lord of the Rings theme and applies it well to a dice chucker. The dice are very well made and there's some good production value out of it.
Yep.
I'm a little bit disappointed that it comes with a pad though. I'm never really a big fan of game components that can potentially run out. At least Fantasy Flight does have it available as a PDF on your website. I mean, if you're a little finicky like me, I'm a little bit weird like that, you might want to just get some PDFs or something that you can even edit digitally so you don't have to potentially run through your stock depending on who you're playing with. And that's a little bit what just my general thoughts. So Sam, what do you think?
I think
Sam,
oh, yeah.
what do you think?
Oh, Mr. Frodo. I think that it's a lot of what you said. The dice look beautiful. I think the theme that they capture it's kind of nice. You can't take this epic adventure that is Lord of the Rings and turn it into like a Yahtzee type game where it's really just luck based. There's a lot more to it. I never felt going through any of the playthroughs where it's like this decision is going to be life or death, because most of the time I end off with a lot of health. I think the last playthrough was the first time any one of us has died during the game. So you don't have that epic struggle.
Sorry to interrupt there, but we know we did have one death while we were playing, but it was right at the end of the game. Similar as we did last time, but in the last playthrough we had so much health it was a little bit ridiculous.
So that's it. So you don't feel that struggle that that everyone in Middle Earth tried to go while they're going to destroy the ring. And the other thing is, you really need 4 players for this, because just to waste the dice on a Nazgul for poor Pippin who kept getting hit, he's not even part of the party at this point.
That's true. See, one of the ideas that we had is that you might want to try adding a house rule or a Fantasy Flight. If you do decide to keep supporting the game, you might want to do a variant, whereas if you're playing with 2 or 3 players, is that if any of the hobbits that are not in your party get killed by the Nazgul, the whole party loses the game. Because it essentially wastes the dice. It means you get a green Nazgul and Pippin's not in play. It's like a free die for everyone. So it does really lower the tension in the game, which I think goes against the theme of Lord of the Rings.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another point, replayability. It's a 10 to 15 minute game. Ours took probably closer to 20, but at the same time, it's Yahtzee. How many times can you play? If you love it, great. It's a wonderful game. Absolutely pick it up. If you really just don't like replaying kind of like a Yahtzee type game, then yeah, it's not as great. And maybe if you still have the Lord of the Ring, play War of the Rings, where it's a 1 versus many. And I think
not the 1 versus many. It's that big battle mechanic for multiple players.
You're right. Sorry about that. So that being said, I mean, my score on this is kind of interesting. I'm actually going to give it 2 scores. I'm going a little bit off script, sorry. Because
that's fine. You know what? You've got your opinion, and we do want to respect the game that Fantasy Flight designed, even if it's not for us.
That's it. So, I mean, my personal score, I'm going to give it a 4 and 5. I don't love it. It's okay for a playthrough. It is fun.
4 to 5 or 4 out of 5?
4 to 5 out of 10.
There you go.
Personal score. That being said, for what it is, which is just a push your luck mechanic, a dice game, it's not pretentious, it's not complicated, it's very simple to pick up and play. It literally, from box to gaming in, let's say, 5 minutes flat, no setup. That's what it offers, and in that regard, 9 on 10.
Yeah, I think it accomplishes exactly what it sets out to be, and it's a good use of the theme. But I'm very critical of games that rely a lot on luck, and this game is all about luck. And that can be fun, and I'm happy that it's a 10 to 15 minute game. I mean, we played a game this summer, not going to mention the game. Maybe we will take a look at it on the channel, but we had some bad luck that just showed up in the middle of the game, and it just kind of went like from a balanced game to like this. And that's essentially what can happen with Lord of the Rings. You even saw it a little bit in our playthrough. I was kind of in the middle of the pack, not really doing well, and then all of a sudden I shot forward, and Mr. Frodo, with the help of Sam, dear Sam, was able to destroy the ring, even though in our version of Journey to Mordor, well, Lord of the Rings, Sam got eaten in Shell Player.
That's it. So, as I said, if that's what it is, the other thing we'll say, we picked this up at a discount, so if you can find it at a discount, it's a great pickup.
Yep.
You have to pay the full retail price, which is about, whatever, 13, 14 US to about 20 Canadian.
Yep, exactly.
You know, at that point, maybe it's not a must-have, but if you like that type of Yahtzee game, absolutely pick it up.
Or if you're trying to introduce someone to hobby gaming that's a big Lord of the Rings fan, that might be an option for you. But I think we've said enough about the game, so as we always do here on Dice and Dragons, we end it with grabbing our drink and
Grabbing
I'm going
our
to
little Hobbit buddies.
Well, at this point we are cheersing to the fallen hobbits, to Pippin, who never showed up,
To Mary,
who died, and to Samwise, dear Sam, who was
Frodo,
who was eaten in Shell Player.
Yeah, well, I didn't die, but you know. This helps.
It always helps.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Keep playing games.
Hey, thanks very much for watching, guys. If you like what you saw, as always, please comment, please subscribe. Won't cost you any gold, XP, willpower, nothing. It doesn't cost you anything.
Yes, and if you'd like to follow us to get some more information about when there'll be some new videos and what our upcoming content might be, please follow us on Twitter at dice_and_dragons. You can find us on Facebook at Dice and Dragons Games. We like to interact with our fans, so please head on over and comment. And then you can see some pictures as to maybe what game's coming up at Dice and Dragons on Instagram. And if that's a little bit complicated, don't worry, we included all that information down below in the video description.
So you might see about now some other links to our other content. It's again free for you guys. We love what we do. And as always, grab a drink, grab your buddy, keep playing games.
Keep playing games.